Hey everybody, how we doing today? My name is Michael.
And I'm Dione.
Hey, welcome to MS FITZ'S Adventures. Hey, today is our day off.
Yes.
And we want to tell everybody thank you very much for watching all our videos. We put out 3 videos last week, and it got a lot of likes and got a lot of attention.
Yes.
We can't do that every week, but we're struggling to just put this one out today because we're trying to get everything ready to go when it's time to go in the next about 4 weeks here. But first, why don't you go down below? You know what to do. Go ahead and give us that big like, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and then ring that bell if you haven't, and if you do, you're going to get notifications every week that we'll have a video. Hey, give us just a couple seconds and watch this, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so we're back. We want to just say thank you, like we've been saying, to everybody for watching our videos, subscribing, and yeah, it's been pretty good. We can get more and more people. That would be even better. We're still not monetized yet, but we hope to be monetized sometime soon. So anyways, guys, we've got 4 more weeks to be here in Durango, Colorado. The camper is looking okay. That's a little bit of a rat's nest over there, but that's okay. We are starting to get everything together. I'm going to make sure all the tires have air pressure in them. Look at all the tires, make sure they're okay and not cracked or anything. Also, we've got a torque wrench, and I'm going to go ahead and torque everything down to all the specifications. The truck, I've only had like 1,500 miles since we had a last oil change, and that last oil change was just before we came here.
Yeah.
Because we really haven't driven that much anywhere. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna get one. I looked at the oil, it looks pretty clean to me. That's that full synthetic stuff. It's good for 5,000 miles, and it's not even 3,000 miles yet. So the truck only has 61,000 miles on it, so that's not too bad at all since we bought it. And it is paid for now, thank goodness.
Yay!
Yeah, and so yeah, we're gonna get ready over the next couple weeks. The leaves are changing up in the mountains. Our managers went up to go see Ouray and Silverton and all that area up there, and they said that the leaves are just starting to change. So we're gonna give it till probably next week, and we want to go up that way. But today we're gonna go to the Animas River Museum. Don't know what that's all about, but it's downtown Durango, I believe. And so it's just a short little trip over there today. So we're going to be over there for a couple hours checking it out. And we want to bring you guys with us. So I guess that's what we're going to do today. So hop in the truck, and we'll all go down there. So the next stop, you'll see us at the museum, hopefully. Hey everybody, how we doing? We're here. And a bunch of screaming meanie kids over there. And yeah, so where we're going is this museum right there. That used to be the old schoolhouse, from what I understand, but now it's over there, and I guess it's recess time, and these kids don't have a fenced-in area to play in, so they're like right on the street almost. It's kind of weird. See the ball bouncing down the road? Some kid kicked it down, and then he's got to go in the... I don't understand this, but anyways, we're going to go over there and not worry about that. But what we should worry about is up there. It is really super gonna rain pretty soon. The sky is black all the way around us, but we're going in the museum over here. So we're gonna go across the street and check out this place over here. Streets here remind me of Lake Tahoe and Kings Beach, because there's these big streets that come down, side streets to go this way. But in Lake Tahoe, they used to name them by the fish, or fish or animals. All right, so this is where we are. This is where we're going tonight. So let's see what this sign says up here. It's got one of those things you can scan too. History Research Museum Library, Animas hours, latest information. Everything you need to know is right there, guys. All those screaming meanies behind me over here. There's the school. And this, like I said, used to be the old schoolhouse. And they are open. So, as always, we're going to leave you outside just for a second or two, and then we're going to go in and see if we can have a camera in there and talk to everybody first. And then, yeah, we'll bring you guys in. Alrighty? So the gentleman wanted us to go ahead and sign in. So that's what Dion's doing right now. MS FITZ'S ADVENTURES was here. There you go. And yeah, so this was an old classroom, obviously. Isn't that pretty?
So wherever you feel comfortable there.
Okay. Went ahead and gave us some information here, and I guess we can sit here in class and learn a little bit of something. I never did sit up front, sorry. Hey, I don't know, can I fit in this thing?
Well, our building was historically a school. This was the Animas City School. We're right in the center of old Animas City. Animas City was the first town in the valley. It predated Durango. This area of Colorado was settled fairly late because before 1874, all of the land in Colorado west of the Continental Divide to the Utah border was set aside as Ute Indian reservation land, and it was illegal for anyone but the Utes to reside here. But that didn't keep other people out, because in 1859, gold was discovered over near Pikes Peak on the other side of the Continental Divide. That created a huge gold rush to the Colorado Territory, and people streamed across the mountains into the surrounding San Juan Mountains, and of course discovered gold and silver. It really wasn't any new discovery, because the first Europeans to lay claim to this, who were the Spanish, had discovered gold and silver 200-300 years before that. The Spanish were in this area as early as 1630. They were the first to map the area. They were the ones that renamed the mountains and rivers and so forth, and those names stay with us up to the present. But when Mexico achieved independence, this became part of Mexico, and then because of the Mexican War in 1848, this became U.S. territory. When this became U.S. territory, Congress sent military expeditions out here to determine what value it would have to the country, and those reports would help them determine what to do with it. All of the military people reported back that this area was so isolated and remote that no one would ever want to live here except for the Utes. So that led to the creation of the Ute Reservation, and they arbitrarily picked the Continental Divide as the eastern boundary and the Utah border as the western boundary. But historically, the Ute people ranged over an area larger than what is today Colorado. They went east into Kansas and Nebraska. They went up into Wyoming, south into New Mexico. In 1859 is when the gold rush occurred. 1860 was the Civil War. The government had bigger things to worry about than what was going on out here on the frontier. So the problem got ignored. More and more people started crossing the mountains into this area, which led to more and more conflicts with the Ute people. But finally in 1873, Congress sent negotiators again to try to resolve the issue. The result of that became known as the Bruneau Agreement. And basically what happened was the Ute people agreed to give back an area of several million acres. It was 60 miles by 90 miles, which included the San Juan Mountains here. So what it did is it took a big block of land out of the center of the reservation and split it. So you ended up with bands of Utes to the north of the San Juan Mountains and bands of Utes to the south of the San Juan Mountains. And in the spring of 1874, Congress ratified this new agreement, and through this area open to homesteading and mining claims. So in the spring of 1874, the town of Silverton, 50 miles upriver, was established. It became the first legal settlement on the west side of the Continental Divide. But there had been prospecting and mining activity in that area since 1860. But there were small illegal camps up there, but Silverton becomes the first legal camp. At the same time, a group of farmers and ranchers came downriver from Silverton and established an agricultural settlement 10 miles upriver from where we are at a place called Hermosa. Those people saw an opportunity to make money by producing and selling food to the mining camps where they couldn't raise any food. Most of the mining activity was above 10,000 feet, and they had a very short working season between snow. Once it started snowing, they'd leave the mountains for the winter, and then they wouldn't go back until after the spring thaw. So this area grew very slowly because of the isolation. There were no roads into the area. People were still using the old ute trails to traverse the mountains to go back and forth to the east. All the population centers were on the eastern side of the mountains. And so it wasn't until 1876 that there were enough people in the valley to warrant another town, and that's when Animas City was established at this location. At the same time, a toll road was built going east and south that connected this valley with Pagosa Springs, which is over near the base of the Continental Divide, and then it went south to Chama, New Mexico, and Tierra Maria, New Mexico, and then on to Santa Fe. But all of that changed in 1879 when the Denver and Rio Grande Railroad Company announced that they had plans to build an extension of their railroad into this area. The goal of the railroad was to reach the mining camps up around Silverton. They were coming in to support the mining industry. The railroad was based in Denver. They were founded there in 1871, and up until 1879, they had limited all of their operations to the eastern side of Colorado. They had yet to cross the Continental Divide to access this area. So this was a big step for them. It was going to take a lot of money to get across the mountains. But after numerous surveys, they finally determined a route over the mountains. In the spring of 1880, they sent their survey crews into this area to finalize the survey for the route to Silverton. And when they got to Animas City, they had originally thought they could acquire land from Animas City to build their rail yard and maintenance facilities. But when they got here, they quickly realized that the topography of Animas City was totally wrong for what the railroad needed, and the town did not have the amount of land that the railroad wanted. So the railroad started looking for other land. They started exploring downriver. They went a little over 2 miles downriver, and they discovered vacant land that was undeveloped homesteads. People had actually filed on several homesteads, but they had not done any improvement work. There was still sagebrush and weeds. They hadn't cleared any land. They hadn't built any structures. But the land was adjacent to the river. It was flat. It was above the floodplain of the river, and it met the requirements of the railroad. So in September of 1880, after they negotiated to purchase that land, they surveyed and platted an entirely new town site, and they announced that they were starting a new town. They gave it the name Durango. They named it after Durango, Mexico, which is the capital of the northern state of Durango, Mexico. They were familiar with the name because at the same time they were involved in building a railroad to Mexico City that was passing through Durango, Mexico. And Durango, Mexico was a silver producing region. They liked that affiliation, and so it fit in with all the other Hispanic names in this region. And again, Durango did not have any silver mines, but Silverton did. And one of the other things the railroad always looked for as they advanced was local supplies of coal because they needed coal for fuel. Now, in 1879, Animas City did not have access to coal, but when the railroad purchased the land downriver and they explored the boundaries of that land, they discovered coal. So they filed on coal rights with the government, which led to the development of the first commercial coal mines. So now the railroad had everything they needed. They had land, they had coal, they had access to water from the river, and so they started the new town of Durango. There was nothing there. In September of 1880, they formed a holding company to handle real estate sales. They immediately started selling land. In 3 months, by New Year's of 1881, the new town had a population over 2,000 people, and they had already built 500 buildings.
Wow.
24 of them were saloons and gambling halls. So Durango happened very quickly. It was all that early development was driven by speculation because the railroad was still over 100 miles away at Chama, New Mexico. It took the railroad until the end of July 1881 to get the tracks to the new town of Durango, and then it took another year to complete the last 46 miles to Silverton. So once the railroad was in the area, Durango was the largest town in a 200-mile radius by 1881. So it became the county seat in 1881. It became the regional business and transportation center. People came from all over to do business here and have access to the railroad. Durango remained the largest town in the region up until about 1963, when finally Farmington, New Mexico outgrew Durango. Farmington is about 50 miles to the south of us. And their growth in that period was driven by natural gas and oil development in northern New Mexico. So anyway, we ended up with 2 towns 2 miles apart. Animas City continued as a separate entity clear up until 1948, and finally in 1948, Durango annexed Animas City, and it's all under the name Durango today. But we had 2 separate towns for many, many years. This building was the Animas City School. We've got other exhibits upstairs and downstairs that will talk about other aspects of local history. When you're finished in this building, we've got 2 buildings outside.
Oh, cool.
The log cabin is one of the first houses built in Animas City. It'll give you an idea of what early life was like in this area. The other little house started out in the rail yard down in Durango. The railroad company built small houses like that for railroad workers. They were considered temporary housing. They were always on railroad right-of-way. They were built on skids so they could be moved easily. They were the first tiny homes. But over the years, the railroad sold them off. They got moved around, repurposed, and so forth. So there's interpretive material out there that will explain the history of both of them.
Okay.
So if you need a restroom, it's downstairs, but there are exhibits down there also. If you have questions or need help with anything, we're just around the corner there.
Boy, thank you very much for all your information. We appreciate it. Wow, that's a lot of information.
That is a lot of information.
And he knew it all. So this is what Durango was. It was Animas.
It was Animas first.
Yeah, Animas first, and then Durango came in, and because of the railroad. Huh, very fascinating. Hey, do you remember sitting in desks like this, any of you? No, you gotta be really old. Our desks were similar like this when I grew up. They're all individual, not on a piece of wood, like down at the bottom down there. But no, and my little lid would come up and I'd have my books in there and stored and everything, yeah. Or sometimes they're underneath and you had storage underneath the bottom, right? Yeah, I remember all this. Remember my dad used to tell stories about the inkwells that he had a little girl sitting in front of him and he liked the little girl. So he ended up having her hair right here, right? And there's the inkwell. And he would write on his paper with her hair, and she would be so mad, she would yell at him. All right, so let's go check out this really neat place, huh? Who's that up there? Hey, look, that's George Washington. Teachers. Very respectable. Teachers' monthly compensation was $54.50 for women and $71 for men. Now, why did men make more money than women did? Well, women were probably better teachers, I think, at that time. Maybe that's why there's more women teachers than men still. School is the heart of the community. So that was the very first one, a little log cabin school. And he said that was outside? Or one like it?
One like it.
So check out these. Look at this. These are all school houses here. Animas and Durango. Boys on the step of the Animas City School proudly showing their pennants. 5 little girls standing in front of a park school in 1905. These girls include Annie and Jeannie. I think this is the building we're in now, huh? Or no? No. Where's the one from now? There? Look at all the books from school. These are from the 50s. I remember this. Basic readers, remember those? No, you probably don't. You're too young. But I remember those. Here, put money in. $5. Donations are always accepted. Durango, Victory, San Francisco. What's this? Oh, USS Durango, Victory. That's one of the life preservers. Oh, that was the USS Durango right up there. That's the Victory, I guess. Rosie and the Victory ships. That's a Northrop Grumman P-61A. Blacked out windows. Cool. Look at the kids in front of the school here. All right. Go up these steps. This is a clock.
It's from the old LaPlante County Courthouse, which was demolished in 1964.
Cool. So that was the face up there, maybe? I really doubt it, but maybe it was. Could be. Well, I guess it really was. Look at the little round window there when you come up the stairs. It's got a picture of a car on it. That's so cool. This big old staircase. Can you imagine a bunch of kids coming up and down it? The boys ring the bell. You smell the old mold and all the oldness. Oh, look. Yeah, they had a coal burning plant here in Durango. It's right off the river. And I think it was coal burning because they have a big smokestack. But yeah, they used to make their own electricity here in Durango. That power plant that is right off the Animas River on the bike trail is now like a, I don't know, for kids, explored zone or something. So, but that was it right there. So this must have been, this is going breakers from one to the other, or shutting off lights in the school, maybe. I would think that's what that is. Let's see what's in here. Oh, pottery. Durango basket makers. Is that really a spaceman? Is it an alien? What is it? Small space painting featuring black and white and red rare human forms, birds rare. See, I mean, come on. See how tall it is? Right seated flute, a whistle. Guess what that one is. Playing a whistle. Right here, something straight up. It looks like a, oh gosh, manta ray, or what do you call them? We've already been there. We showed you all these things. We already showed you the train station. So here is the Ute Treaty Reservation land that he was talking about. Read this for a second. Utes in the United States. Oh, check this out. Good picture, huh? Here, what does this say? From the Earth Ancestral Pueblo Potteries. Check that out. It's all polished. So, 1953, this one was probably cut. 54. You see all these little rings right here? These are years. You can count all the way down to the center. See how thin it gets here? Thicker in here. Water, no water. We saw these at the last museum that we went to, right? And last week's. These are when they went to take the corn, mash it down, make it into masa. All the different types of stone that they used. This is for taking a bunch of different herbs and things. And I forget what they call it, I'm going to write it down. But it's like a mortar and pestle, I guess. So that would be the mortar, this would be the pestle. No, this would be the pestle, this would be the mortar. Wow, what is this? Storage, door slabs. So this would go into the doors that were at those pueblos that we saw. So these right here, or actually these right here. Shoes. Little sandals. Made with yucca plants. That's Pretty cool, yucca plants. Uh-oh, they're closing all the lights off on me. I've been in here too long. No, don't do that. What are you doing? Turn it back on. I'm in here. Thank you. They have a motion sensor, see? I was in there too long. All right, let's go see here. Ooh, this is like the Wild Wild West. What do you think? Still a place of learning. Soon after settlers began moving to Animas City in 1876, citizens formed La Plata County. First school district. Crude log cabin was built, and boys and girls could go to school. Yay! First fire engine. Actually, just a ladder. The horses were here. And look at the ladder truck. Oh, they got a big bell there. And then this guy here, he was the engine. So he had the steamer that turned everything around and they could pump water out of something. And I guess he had a couple small ladders too. I don't know when this was, but modern times. Forged by flame. Urban fires. Oof, what happened here?
The view of the aftermath of a fire on Main Street in Cortez. Now, we were just in Cortez last week, so maybe Cortez burnt up. We just didn't see all the older buildings because they're all newer buildings.
Check these pictures out. Trumbull Hot Springs have long been known for their cultivated values. Is that the one in Silverton by any chance? Anybody know? Same fire that was on the other side. Main Avenue in Durango. What year was that? Wildfires, firefighters. Go down to the water. And suck all the water out, bring it to the fire, put it out, hopefully. Look at this old one. You ever see a big bell? Fallen firefighters is what that bell represents. Oh, law and disorder. La Plata County originally had a very large, crude, mostly southwest Colorado, did not have railroads, not even good roads to connect the settlers. Stockton gang. Lynching in Durango. Robert Dreyer Sheriff. Pistols and pens. Sears catalog, everybody. It's a pretty neat museum. If you guys are in the area, I would come and see this place. Pretty cool. A nice old shotgun. Single barrel? No, it's a double barrel. Double barrel 12 gauge shotgun made between 1878 and 1889 by Parker Brothers, possibly owned by J.T. McCruel Jr. Cool. Look at little La Pasa Sheriff's pin. Must have been real. All right, so we're gonna go check out more of this place. I think we have to go outside now to see the rest of it. So we're gonna go see the schoolhouse and whatever else. Yeah, we're gonna go back downstairs now. Gonna go down the stairs. and around the corner, and we're gonna go check out that little cabin over there and the cabin over here. All right, as you can see, it's black clouds up there. Check this out, guys. Black clouds. It's gonna rain any minute now. Every time we're in Durango, it seems to rain. Where we work and live, it doesn't rain as much as it rains here. Nice little shovel. Oh, hell yeah, look at this. Oh my goodness, and there's no light in here, but that's okay. Why don't you leave the door open? That's a good idea. Life in a log cabin, guys. Check this out, life in a log cabin. These were all the log cabins back in the day that were here. New home was luxurious, according to the pioneer standards. I bet you it was. Even on really cold nights. Look at that. Had a nice pitch roof on it. Those are candle makers, so they poured paraffin wax in those. All right, check this out. Here's the bed. Could you live in this, guys? I think we could. Look at that. Little vanity there. You wash your face, get a little hot water in there from the stove. I'm sure we have a stove or we have a fireplace. Special bargain, $10 for this nice chair. It's a hat rack too. You can put your hats on it. Your little hookies. Look, there's Dione there. But you can put your hook on it and put your hat on there. Water for drinking and cooking and dishwashing and bathing, laundry and household cleaning had to be brought in by buckets. So they had many buckets, like that bucket. This door is rattling because it's the outside. Actually, it gets cold in here at night in the winter. Here's what they're cooking. Here's how they cook everything. This is their little preparation and storage for, you know, for salt and pepper and flour and all the ingredients they need. They got a churner over there for their butter. They got all their knives and forks and spoons over there. Pots and pans and dishes up here. Check that out. Over here, look at that. Oh my goodness. Pots and pans. And then they got this nice oven that they can stoke up. They've got that going over the top of it. They can boil their water and they can do whatever they need to do. Oh look, this is how you wash your clothes. So you put your clothes in here, you swish it around with the handle, right? And as you do that, it washies. And then you take it and you put it on one of those, they didn't have spinners back then. They just had the rollers that you'd put them in, like this lady's doing right here. You can see the roller she's putting on right now. Yeah, and then she's using a washer. They had washers that would just rocked back and forth like a baby's crib. And then this is to scrub really hard when your husband's clothes were so bad that you just gotta scrub all that crud out of it. Butter churner here, check that out. Big old coffee pot, or actually I'd put this on the stove and heat it up, and yeah. Nice window outside, little desk you can write at. Yeah. Really neat. What's this here? Sit bath. Huh. You got a nice little rocking chair here. You can sit there and knit whatever you needed to knit. Get some new clothes. They got this little thing here is either to put your kid in and take them, or put a bunch of wood in to take it when it's icy cold out and snows all over the ground. So that's really cool. That was probably used a whole lot back in the day, I'm sure. And then look, all the hats. Pretty neat. All right, I think we're gonna go walk outside and check out the next one over here. It's out that window, you can see that. We're gonna go right over there right now. So this is the Peterson house in 1997. Animas Museum required to attach the structure in which we're facing demolition. Oh, wow. Read this if you want to read it. And then we're gonna head back inside. Let's see what it is inside. Ooh, look. Oh, yeah. Check this out. So you have your little pantry here. It's got your lard in it. See the lard? That's what they cooked with back in the day. That makes the best French fries. Lard. Sure does. Fattening, but they're good. Anyways, this is a not a Hoosier, it's called. No. This is just a little cabinet. You put all your stuff in it. I don't know what this would be in here. Whether it would be milk or something, I have no idea because it wouldn't be cold. But yeah, I don't know what that is. Maybe for your coffee. You put all your coffee in there or something. Gotta do your ironing. There's the ironing. Now they got electricity in these things. So look, so it's plugged into the wall, right? That's cool. And then they have the sink. Nice table right here. Oh look, back in the day, they even had radios. So here's the radio for entertainment, RCA. Check that out, that's what radio that is. Here's the heater for the place. Probably gas by then. Oil, something like that. And this was the refrigerator. So if you put your ice in there, right? You could put all your other stuff in it around the ice and it would keep everything cold. And of course, you've got to have a baby, right? So look at the high chair. That high chair is probably a little earlier than this stuff was, I got a feeling. But the stove, it's electric, because we had electricity in this town, right? So that is cool. Little electric oven. It's a Westinghouse and a 3-burner stove. And look, here is the bedroom. Little sitting area. You can just sit down and relax. Mom can do her, whatever that is over there, crush stitching. Oh look, they got a telephone and they got a coffee maker over there in the corner. So this is the bed. Nice full-size bed. Quilts were probably handmade back in the day. Nice dresser with everything on it. And you know, it probably has electricity, but they have it off, I'm sure. Yeah, they have it off. What do you think? Isn't this pretty cool? That's the refrigerator.
I know.
That's the front door, that's the back door, that's the back door, and that's the front door. Great Depression. Well, the one we looked at before was a log cabin. This one was what they put the railroad people in later on in life. So that was pretty cool. I like these. Make sure you lock it all up. Look how this was made. So this is the 3-story schoolhouse. We didn't get to go up the top, but we did the first 2 levels, but never got up to the top floor over there. Hey, some of the little kids are out here over here, but I think we're gonna wrap this up for today. What do you think, honey?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna rain. There's nothing for us to do. I'm gonna go home and edit this video for you guys. Hey, we're gonna get over here for a minute where it's a little less windy because the wind's picking up. They're much better. Not really. All right, guys, it's getting a little cold here in Durango. Temperatures at night now are about 43 to 48 degrees. It's been about 70 to 85 degrees. We've had a bad rainstorm the other day while I was working and I was sopping wet. Yep, and it was fun, but it was cool. So I've been wearing my jackets and long sleeve shirts now. Of course, we should have had our jackets and long sleeve shirts because I think the temperature just dropped down about 30 degrees.
I know.
It's actually probably with the wind blowing, it's probably about 40 some degrees right now outside. So we're gonna go call this quits. I'll go home and edit this video for you for Sunday, and we want to go home and see Max and cuddle up with him. So have a good day with him, and cook a little dinner or something. I made some chili yesterday. I didn't show you guys the chili. We kind of had just a private day yesterday with Max and I and her, and yeah, so we're gonna go home and eat some chili and get warm and stay in the camper. We got to work for the next 5 days, and then we only have about 3 more weeks after this week. So we're gonna end up leaving here and going down to who knows where, because we're really not sure at this moment. Still, yes, still, but we will be, because we got a place to go. We just need to find jobs when we get there. So that's not going to be such a hard thing. So, all right, guys, we appreciate you watching today. I hope you come back and watch us again. That would be very nice of you. You know, you can go down and push the like button. And then what do? Oh, yeah, you go to that subscribe button and push it. And then after subscribe button, go click that bell and you'll get notifications that every Sunday we have a video. All right. It's been really nice being here today. And thank you very much for coming with us. One last thing, go follow that MS FITZ'S ADVENTURES website that we have, because we have her blog on it and everything else, and Patreon. Speaking of Patreon, this is what Patreon is and does. And then we also have 3 tiers to choose from, and got one for $3, one for $6, one for $16. So guys, come back and see us next week. We appreciate you. I'm cold.
Me too.
Yeah. We're gonna see you next weekend though, okay? Bye guys.
Bye everybody.